An old video has surfaced which shows DMK's chief, MK Stalin, denigrating Vedic marriage rituals and going as far as calling the mantras obscene. Apologists for the DMK try to justify Stalin's statement by saying that this has been the stand of the Dravidian movement for the last 100 years. It may be true, but then the Dravidian movement should refrain from calling itself rationalist. Here's why. In the video, Stalin is praising the way the bride and the groom are seated in the chairs in marriage functions of another religion. He observes that as against this, in Hindu marriages, the couple is made to sit on the floor in an uncivilized manner and the Purohit starts a fire between them. This fire, he says, creates irritation in the eyes of the bride and the groom, making them shed tears. And it soon also creates irritation in the eyes of the people who are standing around witnessing the marriage ceremony. But the part most people found objectionable was the one where he repeats an urban Dravidian legend that unimaginably obscene mantras are said in a language that none in the crowd nor the couple understands, but only the Brahmin understands. This categorization of Brahmins as spiritual despots who cheat masses draws from the tyranny of priestcraft propaganda that was used by the Protestants against the Catholic Church. In India, the same propaganda was unleashed against the Brahmins, who were seen as the chief obstacle to Christian missionaries. This abuse of Hindu religion as a conspiracy of Brahminical priestcraft has unfortunately become a part of our academic, media and political narrative. And of course, to this was added the Aryan race theory. Brahmins as Aryans was signaled out, the cunning racial other. This historical understanding is necessary to place in context the Dravidian racial politicians' invention of obscenity in Hindu rituals officiated by Brahmins. These verses, alluded by the DMK Supremo as obscene, are said by the Purohit and repeated by the bridegroom, which the latter is made to say to the bride. These are hymns from the Rig Veda, Mandala 10, hymn 85. The verses in question are as follows.
Shasanam Vishasanamato Adhivikartanam Suryaya Pashyarupani.
In the Dravidian urban legend, verses 40 and 41 are highlighted as proof of the obscenity of priestcraft cunningly created by the diabolic Aryans to humiliate and subjugate the native Dravidians. In truth, what do these verses mean? In Hindu traditional science of commentaries, their meaning is well defined. The Smriti of Atri, Maharshi, Atri Smriti, explains this verse so beautifully. Soma gives the woman purity, Gandharva bestows sweet speech, and Agni gives her Sarvamedatva, genius or innate intelligence in all domains of knowledge. So the woman is always in possession of purity and in-depth, insightful intelligence. The flow of the verses indicates that when a girl becomes a wife, she also assumes the role of the queen of the house. She becomes a ruler, she gets the right to command over the in-laws, and she is also reminded of the biological dimensions of marriage and the metabiological dimensions of marriage, considering the husband himself as a child. More importantly, the hymn reminds the husband the greatness of the wife. She has been nurtured by the celestial and that he himself is born of a woman. Now one born of a woman is the fourth, says the verse. That the woman nurtured by Agni has in her the same fire. This has become part of the collective Hindu civilization. So, in Hindu epics, when a woman is harassed or denied justice, it is the fire that comes to her rescue. When Sita was suffering in Lanka, it was Agni set to the tail of Hanuman that manifested justice for the grieving feminine. When Kannagi was denied justice in the court of the Pandyas, her breast milk turned into Agni and burnt Madurai, says the Tamil tradition. Thus, Agni, being the savior and the companion of the woman, is very much an integral part of our tradition. Throughout the world, rationalists read poetry and symbolism in the ancient religious scriptures. On the other hand, religious fundamentalists would peddle the literal meaning of the text aggressively. In India, traditional Hindus and true humanists show that their sacred texts are profound poetry with rich inner symbolism. But the so-called Dravidian rationalists insist on damning them by twisting them and ascribing to them literal meaning in the most absurd way. This is not rationalism. This is irrational prejudice and hatred.